Thank you, Emmanuel, and all the presenters for sharing with us all the work that you've been doing. Clearly, you've been very busy, very hard at work, developing some really interesting and innovative-looking functionality to help address some of the data issues of the past and get smoother data flow to where it's needed. So I have a few questions myself, but I think, I would like to start by opening up to the broader group. If anybody has a general question or a specific question for one of the presenters, please just raise your hand or unmute yourself, and the floor is open for questions now. Thank you. All right, Beth, fire away.
Thank you. Yeah, I am, sorry, it looks like my it's very dark here. I don't know. Oh, there. Thank you. That's really an inspiring system to the Malawi team. Really neat. And I'm with the team in Rwanda building the Rwanda Biodiversity Information System. My question is about how you've built in the functionality for data products. That's something that we're working on right now. So I was wondering if you have any insights into how you've gone about tailoring the system so that it produces data outputs or specific products for data users. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. I think that's an important point. We haven't figured out yet in terms of getting specific products, but I think from the lessons we learned from the past presenters here, I think the questions which we've had is, how do we ensure that the policymakers, for example, get very quick results out of this? I think that's the next step, but Chikondi, Vincent, you can add to that. Chikondi? Is Chikondi there? On secure? But it is certainly an important aspect that we're going to look at as the next step, so that, but quite often the challenges we're having in this part is policymakers don't have the time to process this data, or they would want products, specific products. They want to click on something, data can be analyzed and produce. But we can also learn from you, Beth, how you've proceeded with that.
Well, we are just starting, and I agree with you that it is a challenge. And one of the things we've been doing is attending the meetings, the national meetings, for example, developing the CBD, the Ramsar site reporting, nationally determined contributions, report validation. So all of those workshops and meetings where the government stakeholders and civil society stakeholders are validating reports, we look at, like, was biodiversity mentioned and what information about biodiversity is needed, and then how can we contribute, for example, a table of statistics or a map. So we were starting from that way to sort of entice people to understand what the system could do. And then we have just started working with, and thinking about that to create these sort of mock templates. That was what we were working with Tim on, or going to start to work on once we have that developed. So I don't have either an example, an answer, but that's why I was curious, because we're very, very sensitive now to trying to make sure that we can actually produce outputs. And we just had a meeting with a professional society that does environmental impact assessments. So it was interesting there because they also they said, oh, can you send me that map, because we were showing some demos, and we were trying to tell them, no, you can make the map yourself in the system. So I think it's going to be a bit of an interesting learning curve there.
Yeah. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Chikondi or Sekiwa?
I don't have any comment at the moment.
Yeah. Yes, I dropped off.
Okay, seem to be having a few sound issues there. I think maybe we can come back to that comment in a moment. For now, I think Helen's got a hand up. So Helen, please take it away with your question or comment.
Thanks, Jeremy. Mine is actually a follow-on to what Beth and Emmanuel were discussing. I mean, in the FBIS project, we're also at the stage where we're looking to link the outputs from FBIS, so data and sort of dashboards and looking to reports and explicitly trying to look at how you can add value to the FBIS data by ingraining it in the necessary reporting requirements, like Ramsar, for example. In your case, Beth, you spoke about that with us. It's the National Biodiversity Assessment. We're also looking at environmental impact assessments and how data can be fed in. And it's interesting that, at least 3 of the projects, on our group are all sort of in the process of really understanding the specific requirements of the freshwater decision makers and trying to cater for that. So it might be a nice idea, once we've each sort of walked a little bit along that journey, to have a specific session kind of tackling, like EIAs, for example, what is the requirements from the Rwanda side, and we'll have a sense what sort of things we're going to be doing here. Anyway, just really a thought, but I think there's a lot of potential for sort of cross-pollination between our different groups, since we're all in.
That's a great idea. Like
Yeah.
probably some, and that might make Tim happy too, is some similar templates that we need to make out of the data that would be standard for, because a lot of these are like the multilateral environmental agreement reportings and things like that, which I think are across all the countries.
That'll be a good session, I think. Well worth it. Emmanuel will rope you in as well there.
Yeah,
That would
I
be
think
fantastic. Yeah.
I think that's one of the whole points of the series, is to identify these focus areas, these common challenges among projects, and then to really make note of those and to have some focused collaborative sessions on those. So we'll definitely add this to that list. That's great. Nancy Job from Sanby, good morning.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Jeremy. Just following again from that, it would be nice to maybe structure that session that you've just been talking about, and with Matt Child and some of the work. I've just been jumping between meetings today, and this week we're having our biodiversity planning conference meeting, and we're seeing just this morning presentations from Malawi and a few other countries on how they're incorporating information into their conservation plans. So I think it would be great to invite those people as well. So not everyone's on the JRS working group, but maybe could structure a session where we broaden it just for a session. Thanks.
That's interesting, Nancy. Maybe offline you could share with us contacts of those teams as well, so we can link up with them.
Absolutely.
And see how we can, synergize their work and our work. That would be very interesting, and to make sure that the work is more relevant.
I'll send an email later on today, joining everyone together. Thanks a lot.
Nancy. Thanks, Nancy.
Great. Thanks, Nancy. Great suggestion. So I don't see any more hands up. What I've seen from your presentations, oh, Hugo, go for it.
Sorry, my hand functionality doesn't exist on my team. I mean, what's it called on my Zoom for some reason? I can't see
Oh, no
it.
problem.
Sorry, I had to step away quickly for a call, but and it was during the mobile representation. And the one question I wanted to ask is, and they may have already presented, the team might have presented on it, but you know, did they do any kind of functionality where the forms and things are saved locally and then uploaded later on when there's internet connectivity again, especially in the field when you're going to be in remote areas? It probably would have been presented, but I would have missed that. So if anyone could share, that'll be great. Thanks.
Yes. So that feature is there in the ODK application that we are using. So it's like a platform where you can install the mobile application in the phone, and it already has that capability of storing any data for forms that you have added to the application, because you add the form to the application, and when you add the form to the application, it automatically creates a database within the phone. That's going to be your local database, which you use when you go to the field. So all the data is saved in the phone, and then at your convenient time, you can then connect to the internet and send that data to the website. So the website which I demonstrated, again, is a server like installation that we downloaded again from the Michigan State University. It's already fully developed. You just need to register a URL for it, and then you buy server space, and you can upload that data to that server. So from that server, that's when you can download that information to your computer and put it in Excel for further analysis. So yes, in short, you can save the data in the phone and upload to the server at your time, at the time that you have a connection. Thank you.
Great, thanks so much.
Thank you. Helen, I can see a hand up, and Suro. I'm going to slot my question in here and then come to Helen and Suro, if that's okay. I was quite impressed by the, I can see it's been quite a challenge to mobilize a lot of the existing data and to share those data to where they need to go. And I can see you guys have been hard at work, putting quite a lot of thought into these different workflows for these different kinds of users. Ranging from an individual at an organization who's really coordinates the data flow from that place, right the way through to a reviewer who reviews the records that come in. I'd be quite curious about how you're actually training the different types of users in these different workflows to get more people engaging with the platform and more data flowing in and out of it. I ask because training is it seems to be a common challenge among these projects, and definitely one that we're grappling with as well in the FBIS project.
Yes, so I'll start, and then Sekiwa, Chikondi, you can put in. So one of the key things that we got from JRS coordinator Don at that time was exactly this fact that in most cases our projects we don't have adequate engagement with the users, potential users, and therefore getting them on board at the beginning is very critical. So we realized that, and in the early stages, what we tried to do was to make sure that we introduce to them what we're going to do. And I think one key thing is that they were participating fully in terms of the data requirements, what they want to see out of this database. So that kind of helped a lot the process of ownership. Most of these are actually potential users. So we did that, and then later on, we started training them in how this database is going to look, but also in the input flow, for example, the collection process. So most of our data mobilizers are fisheries department team. So we've tried to build in our project a lot of element in terms of bringing them together and training. It was a bit of a challenge because of COVID, but in some cases, we had to do training virtually. And this is where now Vincent from all the way from Uganda had to train us virtually and train these people, go through, and Laban too, train virtually on all these aspects. So that took quite a bit of time, and we put in a lot of sessions for that. Maybe Chikondi, Skewa, or Vincent, you can also add to that.
So I'll take the first shot and then Vincent can follow if he has any additional comments. So the way I also understood the question, apart from what Emmanuel has elaborated, is how to get the users to actually bring in the data to the platform. So this is where we were trying to find ways of bringing in additional functionality to the portal, which can kind of attract users, because if we just want to get data from them and they don't really benefit anything from utilizing the portal, then there isn't that pull on them. They are not really motivated to utilize the portal. So this is why we thought developing a mobile application which doesn't just focus on the biodiversity data, but includes other additional functionality which may be of help to the users, especially institutions. Then, by using that mobile application for collecting their own data, we introduce as well biodiversity aspects, which if they collect, they summarize together with their own data, we can extract what we need and they can also extract what they need. So this applied especially for the fisheries department, because they are the ones who do a lot of data collection, and to attract them to utilize this portal, we had to introduce other fields in the mobile application, the form, which they normally fill in when they go to the field for their own monitoring purposes, not connected exactly to biodiversity, but useful to them. And so if they, since they like the way the mobile application simplifies their work, they are also willing to share that data with us. So that's one of the ways we thought we could also bring in users to the portal, and they can support by sharing the data that they collect. Over.
Thank you. Maybe if I could come in, as you had said, Dr. Makwiza, one of the key things in any application, in any project, especially this IT projects that involves a portal, is to make sure that the stakeholders are engaged from the start. So we had this, and we had to change some things so that they follow with what the stakeholders needed. We got inputs right from the stakeholders meeting that we had in Lilongwe, and after that we had other module meetings. After a module is completed, we will present to stakeholders, and then they advise. Sometimes you find some things, the way you have implemented them, as stakeholders maybe needed to be more user friendly, and so you would change. So that's key. And I think it should be cutting across all the projects, other organizations should have covered, because the moment the stakeholders are left out, after the final product is out, then you will find issues in making them adopt to it. So we make sure that we adopt to the workflows and what the stakeholders need. And so that's what we did. And that's why we have had the stakeholders and users embrace this from the time we started the project up to now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all those insights. And yeah, I can just see that there's a lot of thought and a lot of effort that's gone in here. I can see that, you know, there may still be a lot of species to add to the platform and a lot of data records to add to the platform, but I think all this effort into making it much easier for people to contribute data is going to really boost the quantity and the quality of the data coming into the platform. So yeah, it's good to see that. I think we'll go over to Helen next, Helen's question, and then on to Cyril. Thanks for your patience.
No problems, thanks. My question was, obviously you're thinking of uploading the consolidated data ultimately to GBIF, from what I gathered from the presentations. Are you intending to harvest data from GBIF as well? In other words, bringing down any sort of big data sets that already exist on GBIF and bringing it into your system so that it's available at a more, country scale level? Maybe Chikondo or Vincent, either one, whoever you feel. Thanks.
Yeah, so again, I will start, and Vincent can comment further. So this is a thought which we considered towards the end of the development of the beta version, because we kind of stopped development at beta. We haven't fully completed the portal, but we started building in APIs for the very purpose of being able to transfer data from the portal, our portal, the Malawi portal, to GBIF. But we were also thinking about putting in the functionality for importing data from GBIF, not only GBIF, the IUCN website as well, because they are our partners, so that we can, when the authors do agree to upload their data on our portal, we can get some of that data automatically. But for now, we are only able to get a template, the Excel format data from GBIF, and then we can upload it on our portal after a few changes, updates, upgrade, like modifications, so that it can be accepted by our portal. So on top of that, I will just also mention that one other aspect we thought about was updating the fish species status from IUCN, so that we are able to tell automatically whether a fish species has become endangered. We don't have to update manually. The portal checks automatically on GBIF, rather on IUCN, and updates the fish status on our portal as well. So those are some of the features we try to build in, but they are not yet complete using APIs. Maybe Vincent can comment better on this one.
Thank you so much, Dr. Makwisa. Yes, we have had all this from the start toward the end of the project. But the key thing is that is that the MVP is built based on DAWNCO biodiversity data standards. So it's with this, it's easier whether it's done manually or it's linked directly. It's easier that if you, for example, exported data from GBIF and you import it to this portal, you will not need to do a lot of work to change here and there, because they are all on the same standard. And so we expect that in future, when we have done the integration, so that we're able to pick and synchronize to GBIF directly, we don't expect to have many issues, because they are on the same standard, and the technologies also don't change a lot.
Thank you. That's good to hear. I just I wanted just to alert you to and see if there isn't a way that we can get. I'm all into collaboration. So our technical team, Cartoza, Tim, who was on the call, we've already developed an API that grabs data from GBIF and brings it into FBIS. And I'm not a developer or coder, but I would imagine that the coding that's needed to do that is probably can be transplanted from one system to another. So maybe I just encourage you to let's have a discussion around that, so that you can benefit from whatever APIs have already been developed for FBIS and the Rwandan Biodiversity Information System.
Sure.
And we can probably learn from you in terms of putting data up, because we haven't done that process yet either, you know, publishing data to GBIF from FBIS. So it's something we're also grappling with. Great. Very nice system. I really thoroughly enjoyed the presentations today. Thank you.
Sarah, we're at your question now, so the mic is yours. Thanks for your patience.
Okay, thank you very much, the presenters of today. I've also really enjoyed. I have a question on the mobile app, the ODK app, and it's about the GPS. I just wanted to understand when these forms are online and you have to get the GPS, is there a functionality within that still the phone would pick the GPS automatically, or is the GPS inputted manually? Thank you.
There is a functionality within the mobile app. It's already built in. If you download from the Play Store, the version that Michigan State University makes available, you will find that if you have included a field within the form that is meant to capture the GPS coordinates, you will be able to get the longitudes, the latitude, as well as the altitude automatically in one field. So when you download the data, you're able to see those values. You don't have to type in the GPS coordinates manually. And it also gives you an estimate of the accuracy, because depending on how many satellites you're able to connect to, you may get maybe 3 meters accuracy or 5 meters accuracy. In the worst case, on a crowded day, maybe you're going to get maybe 10 meters accuracy, but you get all that information saved in your data when you are filling in the form. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Over.
Great. That's wonderful to see. And I think we haven't had that much discussion about using mobile apps for increasing data flow into databases, but it's something that has come up in a few of the projects, and it could also be another really nice focus session for any of the projects or any of the teams who are working on apps to learn from what's been done. For example, you guys have done a lot of development already, and we have an app planned, but we haven't really started on that yet for the FBIS platform. So we're really keen to learn from what's been done already, as an example. Yeah. Any other comments on that? Okay. I think we are. I don't see any more hands shooting up, but I'd like to open it up for a final opportunity for a comment or a question for any of the presenters.
I think, yeah, point.
Yeah, maybe let me be the first one before you come in. I just wanted to again emphasize on the app that we have started working on, because it's a development that has come out of the GRS project. So we noted some limitations in the ODK app. It's very easy to use. You can pretty much set up everything within a week, and you are able to go to the field and collect data with it. But the challenge comes in when you have brought your data. It's not in the format that you would prefer. So these are some of the challenges that we are now working together with NAGSoft to resolve. So with the new app that we are developing using Flutter and connected to the MySQL backend in our portal, we are expecting something that's going to be very flexible a tool that we can tune to our needs and the needs of our stakeholders. And we are just keeping our fingers crossed to see how more efficiently we can now be able to harvest data with less effort to do the spelling checks, less effort to do remove errors and the like. So the mobilization process is well reduced. That's what we expect to see. So we are waiting to see how it works in the next maybe 3 or 4 months. And we are also very keen to see whether this can really improve biodiversity data mobilization. Yeah, over.
Yeah, just want to thank you once again, Jeremy and Helen and the team for the constructive comments. I think it gives us a real opportunity to take all that has been commented here from Wanda, from Nancy, from all of you, to make sure that at least the data that we're generating or mobilizing is in a way that policymakers can find it very easy to use, and therefore they see that this work that we're doing is of value to them. So we are very appreciative for these comments, and I think we will link up, as you said, in the various forums where we want to share these maybe dedicated sessions on this, dedicated session on app, dedicated session on products, and so forth, so we can learn more from each other. Otherwise, thank you very much for your attention to our presentation, and also to thank the team that I work with. They're very committed people, and I think that is the whole driving all these things. Thank you.
Thanks, Emmanuel, very much. So I think that's a lovely place to leave it. Thanks everybody for your time today and engagement. It's been another good session, and yeah, we look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks' time for our next session. And yeah, have a great rest of your day or night, depending on where you are.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day.